I feel quite humbled and a little bit embarrassed about that title because the other people on the list were luminaries like Wangari Maathai, Al Gore. Just people who I stand in awe of. So I feel very honored and humbled by that title. Yeah. I actually think our brains are green from the moment that we are born, that we have a deep relationship with nature, and that when we're deprived of this relationship, what we've learned is that children who are deprived of access to nature don't develop in the same ways. And this is sort of like, these studies are not long-term studies because no one wants to keep a child in a box, but that, we've seen that in extreme cases where children have been mistreated and kept from the outdoors, that part of the developmental dysfunction that we see has to do with a lack of access to nature. And I think that what we can also see as a general kind of trend is that we are spending more time indoors, we have less access to nature, and what that also does is has greater ramifications in the world in the sense that we can't miss what we don't know. So if I've never seen a tree, if I don't know where my food comes from, when that disappears, I don't miss it because I never knew it to begin with. I think, one of the most important things I've learned, and I want other people to consider, is that it's not that we don't care. I think it's very easy to dismiss someone and say, those people aren't smart, those people aren't sophisticated, they just don't know or understand. When in truth, we could do a survey of the number of people at TED. How many people are going to go and support Tony's organization? How many people are going to go and find out more about the birds at Midway? How many people are going to go and feed starving children? Then let's talk about who cares and who doesn't. That's not the issue. It's the way we receive and comprehend information. And when people are full and trying to just get by, especially in the crisis, there's only so much we can worry about. And I think it's much more productive and affords us much more opportunity if we say, I understand you don't care now, but I believe there's a way that you can care, and let me tell you why this is so important. And framing it in that way, I think, is a respectful way to have the conversation rather than to say, you don't care. And touching values, to me, is one of the most important things because, like I said, we don't have a deep relationship with greenhouse gas emissions or the electrical grid. I don't think about those things. I don't sleep thinking about a coal plant, but I pray every single day. And I have a deep connection to my Hindu faith. And I know a lot of people have connections to their values and want to live in a way that shows them. So to touch those places and then to ask those questions from there, I think can bring different kinds of people into this conversation. What keeps me going? I'll tell you what drives me is knowing the incredible numbers of people who are working so hard to make things happen, and feeling very privileged and honored to be in a position where I'm sitting here talking to you. I have a stage at TEDx. I get to hear from a luminary like Michael. Just that I have been born into this life to hear these stories and to have the privilege to tell them. And if I don't, I feel like something will be squandered. I feel a lot of gratitude, and that's what gets me out of bed, and caffeine.